Nothing. I don't know how men do it. I don't know how, when they get ready to make fucked up choices and decisions, that they don't put a picture of their children in their mind to stop them. I mean, it'd be one thing if we felt like Nick's conscience was weighed down by the burden that he had the accident and that he put his friend in a vegetative state for life, a coma for life. But it's hard to have sympathy for the spoiled brat when we know that he has the same black heart and the same evil mind as you do. That's the way you raised him. When the audio tapes of those phone calls came out, that's you. That's you, Terry. That's how you operate. And that's how you raised him. It's not about your friends. It's not about having friends. It's about fuck others. It's about get whatever you can for yourself, no matter how bad or underhanded you have to behave. I mean, you guys together, this John kid is laid up for the rest of his life, a piece of his skull missing, and you guys lay it all on him that he had bad karma. Man, that's strong. That's strong. You know what else is strong, Terry? Your bad karma. You and your family's bad karma. It's bad. Real bad. Nasty. Nasty. Set deep in some hellish place that people can't even imagine. That's the kind of karma you have, Mr. Positivity. The sit-down interview you just did. I mean, you sit down, do the interview, they put all the material in the can, they shoot all the footage. Whoever was charged with producing that show made an executive decision that out of all the stuff that you said, and I'm sure you said more than what was put on film and what people saw on TV. They cut a bunch of stuff out. They had to, because that's just the way it works. Somebody made an executive decision to use the 20-second clip where you say Ultimate Warrior was given a bullet to kill Hulkamania. I mean, people that do these things just don't throw darts or shit at the wall. They make those kind of decisions for a reason, because they mean something. And they were trying to draw viewers into watching the program. When you say Warrior Who, that's a lie. You know exactly Warrior Who, Terry. You know exactly Warrior Who. I mean, when you were on that show, you could see in your body language and in your face that you knew your lies weren't coming off. In that one moment where you're talking about, I can't remember what his finish was, and the lies you made up about me wanting to go home after 5 minutes. It doesn't work, Terry. It just doesn't work. And you know it comes off of you that you know it doesn't work, but you still run with it. Another mistake that you make, Terry, when you say something about me or think about what you're going to say about me, you think that you're still talking to the 30-year-old kid from 20, 21, 22 years ago. Instead of the 52-year-old man, 52 in a couple weeks, 52-year-old man I am today with a totally different head on my shoulders than I had back then. And the reason why you so easily do that and weirdly get away with it inside your own mind is because you operate your life with the same head you had on your shoulders back then when I was 30. What were you, 35, 36, 37? I mean, you haven't grown up at all. Everything about you is still the gimmick. You know, they say that you know, when you reach the twilight years of your life that you become a child again. I mean, you just stayed a child. You haven't ever gone through or stepped up to that grown-up phase. I mean, you've been a child, just continue to behave and think and act and conduct your life like a child. And that is the most embarrassing thing, the most disheartening thing, the most disappointing thing, the most shameful thing about all of this is that you haven't grown up to act your age, to reflect the kind of incredible life experiences that you've had. I know what kind of liar you are. I know what kind of lying you're capable of. 3 or 4 months ago, you made some comments talking about the lawsuit I had against Vince for my DVD. You said that I'd reached out to you to see if you would help me in that because we deposed you in that. That was a lie, Terry. I didn't reach out to you. I tracked down where you were and how I could find you through Linda. The server of the deposition pulled up to that property you had there in Bel Air. Linda was out in the yard doing something, and she was more than happy to tell us where you were. But in that deposition, you sat there under oath when you got questioned about the things you said on that DVD relative to the 1991 event where you and Sergeant Slaughter and Vince were all figuring out what to do because I supposedly held Vince up for money, wouldn't go out to the ring, going to take me in the broom closet, straighten me out the old way. Sitting in a deposition under oath, watching a video replay of the exact things you said you had no idea about what happened, that you couldn't remember anything. I mean, isn't that odd, Terry, that you couldn't remember anything? And what was it, 2008, 2009, 4 years after the DVD came out? But in 2005, when you sat down to shoot the DVD, you remembered everything from 14 years back to 1991. I mean, you wouldn't even admit to the fact that you were sitting in your own house at the time to do the stuff you did on the DVD. You're sitting there looking at yourself, sitting in a room in your house, I think it was your library. All the furnishings and everything, you've been living around those for years. You wouldn't even admit that that was your house. I never called you to help me, Terry, but you helped me. Thanks, brother. You know, your bullet reference in that sit-down interview is really interesting. First, and especially so, because you weren't very good at making effective a use of one either, were you, Terry? I mean, let's get real, man. You made that story up in your book that you were sitting on the bed with a gun in your mouth. I mean, just to play the victim, just to get sympathy, just to keep up the work. Never off. That's your MO, your whole freaking life. Never off the work. I mean, everybody who knows you knows that you don't have the courage to stick a gun in your mouth, let alone put a bullet in your head. There's nothing honorable, even if the story was true. There's nothing to respect about a man who sits and lets the world know all his whines and complaints and bitches. Real men don't do that, Terry Bollea. And I guess the other thing to come out of that bullet reference is that if I had been smart enough or shrewd enough or dumb enough or backstabbing enough, calculated enough to use that bullet effectively to kill Hulkamania, then I'd be in your shoes right now, right? I'd be where you are. I'd have the great life that you have. Man, that's something to admire. Oh, that's something to shoot for, man. There's a goal to shoot for. To become like you. Just a pitiful, absolute wreck of a man. Let me tell you something, Terry Bollea. In every single measurable way, the quality of my life is better than yours. Every single measurable way. I mean, you are a man who would sell what tiny bit of your soul you have left, you would sell it for a handful of pocket change. And it's the same thing that you were trying to get across to that Edge character, right? Basically, when you bashed him for retiring while he still had all his senses, you said that he wasn't worthy enough of being called one of the boys. I mean, that's what you were trying to say, right? That's what was between the lines of your little Twitter tweet. That he wasn't like the real boys. That he wasn't willing to stay in the business until he was mentally and physically battered like you, just a wreck and a whore in every single way. The saddest part about it all, Terry, is that nobody wanted you to end up with the screwed up life that you now have. I don't remember anybody ever saying that that's what they thought in their mind or heart for you, that you would end up with a screwed up life. I never thought that. Everybody was okay with you being the leader. Everybody was okay that you got the biggest piece of the success pie, that you got the greatest experiences of anybody else. You were the white tiger. People admired you. But what we all expected was that down the road, that you would be a better grown-up, a better mature man, a wiser man. You know, few people get the opportunities that it takes to truly become wise. Most people are so busy dealing with the trivial challenges in their life, paying the bills, keeping control of the kids, keeping the house clean, buying groceries, that they don't get the opportunities to sit back and say, what's it all mean? What's my life mean in this world? And what's my life as a human being mean among all the 6 billion other human beings? You know, get a little introspective, get a little philosophical about what it is. You know, try to capture some wisdom in your life. You had all the opportunities, Terry. You had more opportunities than anybody else, but you pissed all over the learning that could have been done. You know, I always imagined over the years that somebody, whether it be a young guy with great raw talent, someone who you've snuffed out so they couldn't have any chance at success on their own, or one of the veterans in the business, somebody that's been in it for 20, 25 years, somebody you worked with and even stabbed in the back yourself. I always hoped that somebody would stand up, just stand the fuck up, and set the record straight and tell the truth about what you've truly done to the business, how much negativity you've spread in the business, and what kind of person you truly are. I would have been inspired by that. I love to be inspired. But nobody did. And that's why I felt like I needed to say the things that are on my mind and on the minds of millions of people whose voices will never be heard. There's a huge audience of people out there, Terry Bollea, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Tiger Woods, Mel Gibson. There's a huge audience of people out there who have had it up to here with freaking men like you. They don't enjoy you anymore. They don't respect you anymore. They're sick to their stomachs of you. They want you to pack your gear bag and go fucking home. Go home. If you can't contribute to the business, wrestling, because that's what you do, that's what you know, that's what you love. You have a passion for it, brother. If you can't contribute something at a higher level than just hogging the limelight from everybody else, so everybody else gets held back and the younger guys don't have a chance to have success in their own right, then go fucking home. Go home. Somebody needs to create and develop something that counters the silliness and the superficialness and the negativity that you just continue to spread to no end. So this is what I'm going to do right here, right now. I'm going to take that bullet I found, Terry, and I'm going to clean the dust and the grime and the rust off of it. I'm going to polish it up. And I'm putting a call out right now to all the Ultimate Warrior fans all over the world, all the other warriors otherwise, to get behind a movement that is positive and inspiring. Men and women who desire to be the best of the potential they have, not the worst. I want those Ultimate Warrior fans and all those other warriors to enlist in this, to help me load that bullet up into the chamber. And I will shoulder the weapon, and I'm going to pull the trigger. I'll pull that trigger. This, Terry, is how karma is coming to collect.